Viewers, I decided to do some refrigeration tinkering. I pinpointed the leak in here. I found the evaporator was all good. Oh yeah, I pressure tested it and everything. Oh beautiful, my evaporator's intact. Put this all in, oil changed, new filter dryer, and there, it's just got a leak in the evaporator all of a sudden. Now in here, what was a perforated thing here, and there's Australian made chest freezers, and it turns out there's a suction line accumulator in there. Well, that suction line accumulator is leaking, so it's a bit right in here somewhere. The line's rusted through, because I was pressure testing this before I put the compressor in it. Oh yeah, held the pressure, nice. Popped it under a vacuum, held the vacuum, oh yeah, it's all good, not leaking. But as soon as I put the compressor in and charge it up, that bloody thing wanted to leak on me. Yeah, MOFO, so, ah well. As you can see, I've replaced the condenser on it. This would have fixed it, because the condenser was gone, the other was alright. But you have a strange bloody developed leak in the suction line accumulator. It's a bit challenging to get in there with a blowtorch and lighten the whole thing on fire. That flame is flammable, so, oh well. The system's clear, it's clean inside there, so I'm going to leave it intact until I need a compressor and filter dryer for something else. So I'll leave it intact until I can use it. And I found that this blast chiller was a little bit lower than R152A. So I've recovered the system, recovered it all properly. I had originally 1.6 kilos of R152A in there. Now the only thing I could think of is this king valve, expansion valve with a source of leak. That frosts up and that's a leak point. I put my sniffer on there, my sniffer wasn't detecting it, so it must be a really, really slow leak. I mean a slow leak, so it's working quite well. No frost's gone back to the compressor, it's just cold. I've probably put about a kilo of R152A in this, difluoroethane. Now it's actually starting to work properly. The evaporator inside, it's all got the coating on it. The coating, they put a formal coating in there, and that's all intact, hasn't all chipped off, because that formal coating they put in the evaporators protects the coils from being eaten by food acids. About 5 psi. Before at 404A, the pressures was about 150 and about 10 or so on this side, but it didn't seem right. 150 is about, I think it seemed right on when it was 20 degrees. It just would not, I had it running for half an hour, it just would not get below 20 degrees. So yeah, we're low on gas. But yeah, it sounds low, and sure enough, I checked the low pressure side, slight vacuum. The valves are all closed, so the pressures look good. And yes, I did actually recover the R404A, which is what this fridge uses, by the way. R404A is a common commercial refrigerant using commercial refrigeration. That's now been replaced with R290 propane, and the Chinese rubbish fridges that you get, the commercial ones, use R600A. There we are, R404A. I didn't want to let it out in the atmosphere. It's probably more expensive gas, what the gas is worth than the fine is. So I got a mate is a fridgie, so I'll either way, I can dispose of it responsibly if I don't need that gas. So I said I know a couple of fridges who would use that gas responsibly, but mine have it in the collection. It's not R12, it's not banned like R12 is, so a little tiny bit. Add a tiny bit, just a touch, I mean a sniff of it, just as I'm going. Let's see if I can get that, that gauge is probably not accurate either. Should be around 5 psi or so, the pressure chart with this stuff. Should be around 5 psi when it's down to minus 10, I think. So around there. That's the initial timer for the initial to get down to that. These are pretty good, these machines of blast chillers. They come in very handy. Expensive piece of equipment this is. This is about, as I said, 10-15 grand. This model is obsolete now. The newer models have a big plastic handle and a colour screen on it. And you can plug in a printer, print out your HACCP data. A lot of old age homes and hospitals and boutique restaurants use these. They're not very common anywhere else. So. The average Joe restaurant wouldn't need one of these, but for niche, like high professional chefs would use one of these. There's a good recipes on Google, blast you the recipes. After you clean this all up and chuck it in the bumper strip, I just thought the bloody evaporator fan was gone, but no, low on refrigerant. I will keep an eye on that valve though. These valves, TX valves, are pretty cheap at Heatcraft, so I know that bloke at the local Heatcraft supplier pretty well anyway, so that's alright. As long as it's not getting frost all over that. I'll have to zip tie that now. After zip tie this, and this is all ruins the efficiency of the system. So now I've ripped half that off. I'll zip tie that back up. The better the insulated of these lines and the more efficient the system's going to run. Oh look! Hey, hey, hey! Hey, I found a leak! Hey, hey, hey! Suspicion's correct. Right! Aha! Right! There we are! Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, what a bloody idiot. I bumped this bloody thing. Stupid. Yeah, I was going to say. I bloody bumped this hose. I was getting worried there. I'll put a little bit back in. I'll just a little bit top it up. Okay. I just topped it back up. Bloody bumped the hose and they came loose. Scared the crap out of me. I thought I'd bloody cracked the line for a second there. Yeah, it looks about just 5 psi according to the pressure gauge chart. There's an app on the phone you can get. Let's see if it gets any colder. It should. -6 degrees. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. Keep the cold in. Don't forget this gasket replaced. CRH or Scope Refrigeration or CRH Australia are the agents for the parts for these units. -6 degrees. Yeah, looking good. Anyway, quite happy with that. That's the time, 3 hours 35 minutes. Set to. So we'll change that from R152A to 152A. So R152A. We are looking at about, what are we at? We're at -9C. -9C there somewhere. 27.11 PSI absolute. What's this one? Let's change it. Boils at -24.02 Celsius. Critical temperature 113 Celsius. Yeah, somewhere around there. High pressure sides, 90 psi. Seems to work with lower pressure refrigerant. It's lower pressure refrigerant than R152A. Therefore the compressor shouldn't work as hard. It should save some energy in the long run. But the reason why they're using commercially R152A because they can make more money off it. This stuff's just used as a restricted to be used as a computer dust because it's cheap. There's no point in profiteering on that if it's so cheap, so leave it there for the consumers to dust out their computers. Plus this stuff's being made in China, hence it's so cheap and plentiful. The air gauges are very accurate. I don't think it's very accurate at all. I notice it isn't even zeroing like this one here is anymore, so cheap Chinese gauges. This say will be around 12.4 PSI on the low pressure side, but very inaccurate, that gauge. Should be around just under that first needle, that notch, but cheap Chinese gauge isn't very accurate. Anyway, I'm quite happy with that. Quite a nice repair. Anyway, this is a nice little asset for my kitchen. Thanks for watching.